Johnebii, this is for you. Now I'm coming to you from blog headquarters in my finely tuned studio here with the TV backdrop. We could just put cameras in here and have a whole professional operation, and my worldwide headquarters studios here, top of the line stuff, but really this is just my bedroom. But now look here, I know I beat you down with this and you're tired of hearing about this, but I gotta do 2 points from our conversation that we discussed the other day. And that is, look, if I'm going to send my son to school, I do believe he should be enriched. A person receiving enrichment is the one that gains benefit in the equation. So if I'm going to send my son to the school to enrich the teachers and the other students there and the education environment there, that's a benefit to them. They're being enriched. So they should pay me. But that's not what happens. I pay them. So they should enrich my son. If I'm not gaining anything additional on top of what I'm equipping him with at home, if I'm equipping him with a certain amount of knowledge and he's only going and spreading that knowledge at that school, then they owe me. If I hope him to acquire greater knowledge than what I can give him at home, then I'll pay for that. So that's why I pay for it. I don't pay for him to just simply take what I've taught him here at school and send it to the public classroom. Otherwise, they would come all to my house and then they would all pay me. And I would be the teacher. So there's got to be some benefit that they're giving him for the transaction to be anything more than a farce. Now, your definition of teaching is showing children how to discover. That's good. That's a good objective for education. But I do think teachers at least have to light some pathways, have to set some kids on some trails, and show them how to discover, yes, once they get along those trails, and where to look, and how to look, and how to look for the unseen, how to look for things that may not be very readily available to the eye. Yes, that's a good purpose in a good education. I don't think 1/3 of the public educators view education that way, and I don't think, certainly less than that, execute their education that way. But that's a good way to look at education, but you have to at least have somebody that's going to set them on a path, show them a path, lead them, guide them, direct them a little bit. And that's what I pay my hard-earned money for, in my opinion. The second thing is, you've told me that you find it hard for me to hear me, berate this system because you're around school teachers all the time in your school that are great school teachers and that accomplish a lot. And in your master's classes, you're surrounded by all these teachers that are good examples of what the school system has to offer. But what I would suggest to you is that you are not a part of this system that I rail against so heavily. Your school is an example of why what I advocate would work. And it's only a middle ground towards more of what I want. It's the freedom and things like that, and the individual, access and the customization of curriculums and the encouragement of teachers to be free with their thinking. And so you guys take the underprivileged kids that are underperforming, at least statistically, in public schools, and you take parents that are statistically less involved than other parents, and you do better with the students. And you bring parents in that typically have lower participation rates. Now, of course, the responsibility is always on the parents, mainly, but isn't it good that you can have schools that are good enough that parents that maybe would not have been so active in their child's education will want to come in and now be active? Isn't that good? Isn't that something that a school can hang their hat on? You guys don't take the best and the brightest, but yet you outperform them. Why? It's not because you are executing the system better than the public schools. You're not outplaying them at their own game. You're a different system. You're operating under a different set of rules. And thank goodness for it. The freedom that your principal has to fire and hire teachers that he sees fit. The freedom that you as educators experience and enjoy in crafting your curriculum for your students. It's a different system. It's a different approach to education. Is why you guys take those students that are typically underperforming, take those parents that are typically underinvolved, and you overperform with them, and you have 100% involvement with those parents. You are not the problem. You are a step in the right direction. I'd like to see it go further. But I'm afraid you labor under this assumption that you're doing a good job in this system that I rail against. The teachers that surround you are doing a good job in this system that I rail against. And you're not. You're doing a great job, but it's not in the system that I rail against. It's in a totally different set, a totally different environment of freedom